Hey, we are there. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to I always have my glass in the way. Friday, the 16th. The 16th. I'm covered in dog fur. Don't hate me. I got a big basset hound puppy. I gotta carry down the steps like 3 times a day because he hasn't figured out how to do the old step trick. So how you guys doing? Welcome to Massive Iron Live. I'm here to help. I am here to answer your questions. Here every Friday. I've been here, I don't know, like 5 years now. It's literally probably the longest running live lifting podcast Q&A in the history of the universe. That's my claim anyway. I don't like it when my straps are uneven. It's like a mental tick, right? So I've been doing this forever. I'm here to help. If you're new here, please don't hesitate to post up your questions. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. So before we get started, a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, YouTube has been a lot better with this year in the last couple of years, but it used to throttle people. Their questions wouldn't always go through. But if you do have a problem with your question, just try rephrasing it or shortening it. Sometimes YouTube does filter comments for whatever reason. And if you miss live and you're viewing this after the fact, you can send me a question anytime on Instagram at Ben the Barman or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. How's everybody doing? I had a good week. I've had a good month of training. Things are on track. Good, I don't know, good 6 weeks of training. My numbers are coming back up. Bench is looking good. I got a new program. Posted it on Instagram. It's pretty brutal, but I'm enjoying it. Yesterday, I did the death day. Yesterday, I did the death day, which was the 10-minute deadlifts. Then I did stiff leg deadlifts, 3 sets by 6, where you're pulling off the floor. Then I did 3 sets of rep goal squats, and I hit my rep goal of 30. I didn't want to, those were feeling pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. Then I did jammer arm shrugs, and I try to do some leg work. Or ab work. I'm trying to find some ab work that works decently for me. So that's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? I got a little bit of a topic today we're going to dive into. Fear and pain. Fear and pain. I saw a clip on Elite FTS. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Before I do so, a quick commercial, guys. You can follow me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Love to connect with you. My website is superlivingtoday.com. There's a coaching tab over there. No pressure. Coaching is what I do for a living. And if you are interested or curious how it works, I'm with you every single day. I'm not a check-in once a week guy. We talk on the phone initially. We set everything up, a plan of attack, nutrition-wise, lifting-wise, and then I provide daily accountability, daily form checks, daily changes, daily guidance. I'm there with you 5 days a week. On the weekend, I leave you alone. Not only all of this, but I am one of the lowest cost coaches online. I'm not trying to devalue myself. I do so because I work my ass off with coaching. Yesterday, I'm usually eating at 8 o'clock at night. I'm sitting here 12, 13 hours a day. Last night, I got up to write on my new book from 11:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. I am working, and I love to work, and this is what I love to do. So if you want a coach that's passionate about your results and that will build a relationship with you, not just do some bullshit once a week check-in via email, I'm your guy. So also at my website, I have workouts. Check out my workout collection. That's a huge collection of some of my workouts. There's also, I can build you a custom workout. There's a services tab and there's a supplements tab. I have whey, creatine, and the multi. These are things I use. So if you are interested in that stuff, head over there. And the apparel. I have some really quality apparel. I don't make t-shirts to make money. I make them for myself and to give away on Team Massive, that sort of stuff. I make about $5 a t-shirt. I don't sell that many a month. But if you want some cool lifting shirts, check out that crap. All right, let's stop talking about crap and let's get into things. Now, where was we? Where were we? The fear and pain of big weights, is it stopping you? So I saw a clip on Elite FTS, their podcast. I forget who was discussing, and I forget who the guest was, so don't hate me. I just saw it briefly scroll by the old phone, talking about the fear of weights and the pain of weights. And it's an interesting topic because in coaching, you do find a certain number of individuals that don't really like the pain. They're not equipped for the pain that's going to require. I mean, it's not a pain where you're getting injured, right? But when you are moving big weights, when you're moving heavy weights and you have to progress, even when you're in that early intermediate stage and you have to progress, it can start to get really painful, really stressful. I am back at squats I'm not anywhere near my old strength levels, but I'm trying to slowly build them up, and I've been very consistent. Even at a moderate weight, by rep 10 or rep 11, I'm really in the pain zone. And this is a very easy place to quit. It's not that you enter the pain zone when you're super strong. It's really that you start to enter the pain zone when you've been on track, for 6 months, a year. You really start to enter that pain zone. Does that make sense? And we can pick up kind of a fear of progression. Like, I don't really want, this feels heavy. If I progress, it's going to feel heavier. I'm going to wait till it feels lighter. This fear of heavyweight and this kind of aversion to pain, like I want to see if I can find a way to train easier without all this pain. Maybe I'll just add volume without the pain, or I drop the weight a little bit. This is kind of where gains will go to die. We have to be, going through puberty again. We have to be mentally equipped when it comes to lifting to understand that we have to move past our feelings. We have to move past our feelings of fear of the weight. We have to move past our feelings of pain. We just have to kind of embrace it. This is part of the process. And if you think a weight is going to feel lighter eventually, it's not. Heavyweight is heavyweight, right? It never feels lighter. I imagine if you took all the drugs in the world and all the HGH in the world and you ate yourself up to like 370 pounds, and then maybe a 60-pound dumbbell bench would start to feel lighter. But in most cases, for the average individual that's not abusing food or PEDs, 60 pounds is always going to feel like 60 pounds. A 60-pound dumbbell is always going to feel like a 60-pound dumbbell. When I was squatting with over 600 pounds on my back multiple times a week, 315 felt heavy because it is heavy. And this is something I've talked about many times. 365 felt heavy because it is heavy. 400 felt heavy because it is heavy. 500, 550, so on and so forth. That doesn't mean you can't lift it, and that is where the disconnect comes. It's not going to ever feel lighter because it's a lot of weight. You have to focus on form. You have to get past that. You have to get under the bar. You need to suck it up, and you need to move on. And those that can are going to see the fruit of their effort. Those that do not are going to be handcuffed by fear and by pain, and they are never going to see quality results. You cannot get around the need for some form of progressive overload in the form of strength. So let's get on to things, guys. Let's get on to things. Let's see who's first here. Rico, how's it going, Rico? Thanks for tuning in. Dumbbells and Donuts, good afternoon to the fine ship Team Massive and all who sail her. Let's not assume this ship's gender, would you? Right. Welcome to 2024, where ships have feelings. Who is your dream workout partner and coach you would pick? Um, I know I play this card a lot, but I don't know, man. I like the way Tom Platz trained, but I'm not sure it's sustainable. I like the way Dorian Yates trained, but it's a little bit too much on the spectrum. I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I'm going to be honest. I mean, if I'm just being honest, I really don't want anybody, right? I don't. I like to do what I like to do. I've been doing this so long. I like to get. I don't want to be with anybody. I don't want to smell anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to hear your music. I don't want to hear you babbling. I don't want to see you texting on the leg extension. I don't want to see anything. I want to go on there. That's my church. That's my lifting. That's my focus. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to stay in my zone. And I don't want anybody telling me what to do because I know what to do. I know what I like. So the honest truth is no one. No one. That's the honest truth. Big Joe B, good morning. Nice hat, Joe. Stein, how's it going, Stein? Stein and I crossed paths about 12:30 last night in the morning, my time. I was up working on my new book. I'm about 6,500 words into the book, and that sounds really, really awesome. But it's going to be about 300,000 words. This is going to be, you could call it a book. It might end up being turned into 3 or 4 volumes of a book. I don't know when it's done that we want like a door stopper. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how the size is going to turn out. I'm just writing it. I'm relaxing. I'm trying to just let it out. This is my life's work. This is going to be all that I've taught up to this day in a book, and every stone is going to be turned over. We're going to shine a light under it. We're going to talk about everything, all the lifting principles, all the classic workouts. We're going to talk about everything from supersets to cable tricep extension form. This is going to be comprehensive, as comprehensive as I can get it into one collection. And I'm not looking for a certain size, but this is going to be massive, pun intended. And Bruce says, where'd you go, Bruce? Thanks for the donation, Bruce. You're the man, Steve. Thank you for all the help and accountability. Bruce, I hope this doesn't give you the creeps, but Bruce is somebody I care about a lot. I coach Bruce, and Bruce, you're on my mind a lot. I'm wanting to see you just absolutely crush things. Bruce has a unique set of struggles right now, but just know, man, I think about you a lot. And I care about my clients probably a little bit too much, but I'm trying not to overbother you. How's that sound? All right. Big Joe B from Canada. Is it possible on some lifts to max out the DDP system and have to move on? Oh, we never really max out any progression approach, really. It's always going to slow down. Like you can max out linear progression trying to add 5 or 10 pounds a week. That's going to max out. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not sustainable. It's sustainable only for a very short period of time. But any other reasonable progression approach, rep goal system, dynamic double progression, last set max reps, none of these are ever going to max out. You're going to slow on progression, but they can't be capped because of their nature. They will be slowed. That's the nature of lifting. Is there value in trying a different progression approach? Sure. I do this with my long-term clients all the time. I don't do it because it's magic, but I like to do it to keep things fresh, right? Keep things fresh and tasty. Let's do something different. Sometimes after 4 months, 3, 4, or 5 months on a bulk, we do a cut and we want to come back and do something different with the same exercises, right? We're not doing the muscle confusion crap, but we are trying to give you something fresh, something different, because there is something called the training effect. And it goes like this. When you take a lifter or an athlete and give them a new way to train, they're almost always going to see improved results. This doesn't mean we should change things over all the time, like, hold on, I got an itch on my nose. I might sneeze. This doesn't mean we need to frequently change things, but that's counterproductive. But after a reasonable block of training, if we we change the way we train and bring in some new freshness, people almost always see an improvement in their results. It's a new approach. They de-stagnate, so to speak. So that's one reason to freshen it up, so to speak. All right. An example, like dumbbell bench, dumbbell seated overheads, where the second and third sets catch up to the weight of the first. That's if your weight's catching up, it's still on its own track. You're improving, right? And sometimes the heavier stuff will slow, but the back down sets will accelerate. And what usually happens is the closer they get to the top set, then the top set starts to accelerate. It's highly unusual that the top set will stagnate. It will slow. It's easier to add reps onto a slightly lighter weight, but the second set isn't going to catch up to the first, and here is why. The progression indicator on the first is usually 7 or 8 on dynamic double progression. Whatever it is, it's arbitrary. It can be any number, but the second set is going to be 2, 3, 4 reps higher, whatever it is, than the first set. So on dynamic double progression, using different weight for each set, okay? So let's say on bench, someone's doing 200 for 7, and their second set is 180 for 10. The 180 for 10 isn't going to catch up to 200 for 10, and then the first set be 180 or 200 by 7. See what I'm saying? It's impossible on dynamic double progression. I'm sure you were just using that as a general, a general question, but dynamic double progression, that can never happen. It can never happen on the rep goal system because your first set, fresh set, is always going to be your most reps. That's just the nature of the beast. So, Big Billy William Baker. What's up, Team Massive? May the gains be with you. Thank you, sir. Lifter _ Triple X. Hello. Is there any way to make heavy weights more cozy and less scary? Yes, there is. Here we go. What you do is you take off your skirt, okay, and you. I'm going to get some hate. We're not hating on women here, but no, you can wear a skirt if you want. It's 2024. Do you. You do you. What we're going to do is look in the mirror and say, self, I don't care how things feel because this is not a Lifetime movie. We're not in a Lifetime movie. Kilts are okay, yeah. We're not take off your skirt and put on a kilt, son. We're not in a Lifetime movie. We don't care how you feel. I don't care what my feelings are. I have a mission. That's to win the Gains Cup. Okay, that's to win the body I want. I don't care how weights feel, right? I don't care how they feel. They're not going to be cozy. Seeking cozy is the enemy. We want to embrace cozy. We want to embrace the suck because that is how we are victorious. So there is a way to make weights feel more cozy, and that is to stop looking for them to feel more cozy and to embrace the suck. What about buying Olympic weights covered with fur like cars from the 70s? You could do that. I believe they would have a limited amount of usability. The wear and tear would probably take off the fur. I would not buy the Olympic weights with the fur. I would go up to your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it is. It's 2024. And I'd say, look, I got 2 things for you. Number 1, make me a sandwich. And number 2, go buy some fur and super glue it on my Olympic weights because I am a bitch and I want to have furry weights. Joe B., your goblet squat mentioned in one of your squat form videos really helped me feel the difference. That's good. If you're having trouble figuring out squat form, You can hold a weight, keep your elbows slightly out. Let me remove this. Keep your elbows slightly out like this. And then when you squat down, try to keep your knees open so you can touch your elbows to your knees. The day before doing squats, I wake up night sweaty and have nightmares that the barbell broke my back. Ooh. Okay. Fear of heavy weights is true. It's not a joke. Indeed, it is definitely true. I had depression related to it. It can be a very emotional experience. When I would go down and squat, this was more so with squats than any other lift. I didn't fear not pulling a deadlift off the bar, because the worst thing that can happen is you don't pull it off the bar. But when you have 600 pounds on your back and you feel like it's going to crush you to death, there is a lot of fear, right? But that's the game. And that's why few people win the game. And I'm not going to get into psychology. I'm not going to, name call. But at some point we have to decide, is this the game for me? Or do I want to put on my skirt and go join the rest of 2024? Not that we hate them, but hey, they're not lifting heavy ass weights. Let's be real. That's just a reality assessment. When you get your pink purple hair, maybe there's a couple. Are there any pink purple hair people in the gym? Are there? I don't know. Are there any Zer pink purple hair people in the gym? I don't know. Are there any people pretending to be cats or Furbies in the gym, or furries in the gym lifting in like furry costumes? Can you go into a gym and lift in a furry costume? Do they have a special litter box area for you? I don't know. These are all questions I want to know in 2024. We are not making fun of people, but 2024 is way too weird, right? Way too different. We don't want to sound offensive. We don't want to do that, right? Furries. Is the interview with Dave Tate still happening? Likely. We're still trying to get our house together, so that was pushed off. So I don't know. Maybe I'll circle back and try to get that arranged. We just got involved. I got involved with building my gym and moving into the new house and all the changes. And it's just been my priority right now is working on my book. I just got, working on my training app. We got a training app coming out. So many things happening. And I'll be 57 this year. Time is running out. I'm using my time, and I would love to hop over there if I can. D&D, one of dos. I'm really psyched to get back to training. What advice can you give me? Go slow. When I am off for 2 or 3 months, I start with the least amount of weight. Now, I don't progress like necessarily 5 pounds a week. Like I started at 135 on bench when I came back, because I literally hadn't benched in 3 months during the move. Don't hate me. I was just adulting, right? So anyway, I started 135. The next week I did 165. The next week I did 185. The next week 205. And then last week, I was back at 225. So you don't have to slowly progress. The big thing you need to understand is the muscle strength might be there. I could have went in the first week and put 225 on the bar and let it rip. But your connective tissue is going to be weaker, relatively weaker than the muscles. So we have to allow that connective tissue to get up to speed. I know it's stupid. No, it's not. When I've been lifting for a while, but no, you just need to start low. Like one of the biggest mistakes you can make is trying to rush or go back to heavy weight when you've been away for a while. That's a good way to get injured. Guys, if you are afraid of heavy weights, I have some advice for you. You have to sleep with them in a bed, put plates under the covers. You really have to bond with them. You have to spend some time with them, take care of them, clean them, bathe them, take them to the park, maybe take them to the cinema, take them out to eat. Just get comfortable. Yvonne, how's it going, Yvonne? McBean, I get many comments telling me I should not. I'm not laughing at you, buddy. I'm laughing with you because I know. Over 60. Yeah, I mean, this goes back to how fragile people like to position the body as. I'll tell you what, my good friend. Yes, we all pick up war wounds and injuries and limitations. You can't not get to 80 feeling like 20. There's going to be an accuration of issues. There's going to be. So it's just life. We all end up in a casket. Welcome to reality, right? But the concept that we are fragile little fruit flies and we shouldn't it's silly. Yesterday I did 10-minute deadlifts. I did stiff leg deadlifts after that. So I basically did 10-minute deadlifts and 3 sets of stiff leg deads. Then I did 3 sets of max safe quality rep squats. That was a joy. Then I did 3 by 15 or 3 by 12 to 15 jammer squats or jammer shrugs. Not patting myself on the back, but this workout program I have right now is the hardest program I've ever done. It is easily the hardest program I've ever done. Why am I doing it? To show off, to be wacky, to be zany, to say, look at me, to say, hey, I need some fodder for social media. No, I want to see what I can do. I want to, the reason why so many in their 40s and 50s push back, let's be real, is because they've let themselves go for so long. They feel like crap. Feeling like crap is the new norm. And everybody just assume when you get to 35, 45, 55, you should feel like crap and you should be a weak sack of crap. We should be weak humans. This is nonsense. It's nonsense. I went out. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a week. Feel good. Feel fine. I have my little aches and pains like everybody else, but I don't notice them because they're not debilitating. Are my knees perfect right now? No. My knees are not perfect right now. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to lose more weight to reduce the shear stress on my knees, but I can still squat. There's going to be a day when I wake up and I won't be able to squat. Maybe I'll be 62, 64, and that day will be behind me. It's not that I had done something wrong. If anything, I did something right and prolonged that far beyond what the average person is doing. Hey, I can be able to squat to 64. Great. Maybe I can leg press or leverage squat till I'm 72. Great. Maybe 77. I don't know. There's going to be pieces and parts that fall away of the equation, but we're still going to continue to do what we can, and we're going to do it hard, because why wouldn't we? Do we want to curl up in a ball like everybody else and be weak and not live? You don't want to. People often talk. We know the meaning of life is is almost laughable in its philosophical prevalency, right? What is the meaning of life? It's almost a joke. It's passed around so much and talked about so much. And I can tell you a couple things. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. What are you here for? What do you like to do? Go do it, right? Go do it, right? The meaning of life, one of the big meanings of life, is to push yourself. You want to die not knowing what you're capable of? We never fully know what we're capable of. We don't have time to pursue all endeavors. I don't know if I would have been a good painter if I would have started at age 14. Where would I have been now, 43 years later? We never know our full capacity. We can never possibly know our full capacity in all aspects and endeavors and creative endeavors and avenues in life. But we can know the path in front of us. What do I want to do this week, this month, this year that pushes myself out of my comfort zone so I can explore my limits? You know, when I feel most alive, when I'm pushing myself in ways that I didn't think were possible. That's why I fell in love with ultra running. I didn't think it was possible to run a marathon my first time out on one of the hardest trails, a very difficult and hard trail. I didn't think it was possible. There's no way I thought that was possible. I went out and didn't think it was possible, but I set myself up for success. I went to Cacapon State Park in West Virginia in the middle of July with a month's worth of training, never having run more than 20 minutes in my life. Well, in my adult life, since I was out of the military. And what I didn't expect was because I had become a prolific hiker and I was hiking every weekend and hiking very challenging trails. What I didn't expect was that I would show up and finish 26.2 miles. After lap 3, this was a 5-mile loop. After I hit 15 miles, I looked at the clock and said, I have time to do this. I have time to do this. Now, a trail run is not like a normal run because you have roots, you have rocks, you have elevation, you have mud, you have rain, you have thunderstorms, you have trees down, you have sometimes bears. We've seen it all. And a trail run or endurance run is about surviving, right? You can't run for 12 hours straight. You need to take a little bit of break, get in some electrolytes. If not, it's not going to digest. That's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, I set myself up for success, not failure. We want to live a full, rich life and look back when we can't move very well anymore, smoke a cigar, have a scotch, look back and say, what a day that was. Or do you want to look back like everybody else around you that's constantly like, I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm going to make the commitment tomorrow. I'm going to become invested tomorrow. And they're constantly hopping around and they're never accomplishing anything. The thing they accomplish is like, hey, I watched an entire, series, TV, 5-season TV series in a month. They're going to look back at the end of their life and be like, wow, I remember when I watched Breaking Bad in 2 weeks. That was good times, right? Maybe they will. I don't know. That shit's not for me, though. Big Justin Jones. Good morning, big, hairy, ugly dude. NT Massive. Is doing more controlled, faster reps better than less reps done slower? Ooh, I got to unpack this. Is doing more control reps faster better than doing less reps slower? If you're going slower, it's probably going to be more. I don't really know what you're referencing here. I'm a little bit confused. We power the weight up and we control it down with good form. There's no better. That is the only way to do it. There's no reason to slow reps down. We control weight. We don't slow it. If you just want to do this, like have a seizure when you're lifting, you're going to take all the tension out of lifting. So there's no value in that. Did you ever go to Las Vegas? My sister was a school teacher out there for a while. I've never been there. It's one of the few states I've never been to, Nevada. So what do you recommend doing there? Never been there. There's a couple states I've never been to. Utah, Nevada. Where else have I never been? Maine, Hawaii, Alaska. There's very few states I haven't been to, but those are right up there. Been to Connecticut, New Hampshire, all that kind of stuff. I think that's really it. Utah, Nevada. Maine, and then, of course, and that in the continental United States. So when does your open your effing knees shirt come out? I looked this morning to see if I could possibly make one of those shirts, but it was, hold on, I gotta turn off my space heater. It's too warm down here. I looked to see if there's any funky graphics I could use, but alas, there were not. Shelly. I'm not going to say big Shelly Turner. We're going to say petite and killing it. I'm over 50. Shelly Turner. I'm planning a controlled bulk for the next 3 months. I've been lifting over 8 years. What tangible results might I strive for during the bulk? Well, let's look at the option. Or excuse me, let's look at the alternative. And I'm going to talk about tangible results in a second, but let's consider not doing a bulk. The women I know that are making good progress are doing bulks. It's not a fat bulk, but it is a bulk. So for you, because you are, we don't want to bulk too aggressively, but I think, pound and a half, 10 pounds over 6 months, and then a quick cut. So what we want to see, we want to measure. First off, you want to measure. You want to take your measurements flexed so we can monitor things. Maybe get one of those tapes that auto snugs so it's a little bit more accurate. What tangible results? You have the potential to pack on muscle mass. So I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to see a lot of you're going to see amazing tangible results in my chair leg's in the wrong spot. And it's aggravating me in 3 months, right? That's kind of, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say in 3 months, you're going to see bigger, juicy biceps. If you do this over 12, 15, 24 months, that's when you're going to see the change. It's like a snail running a marathon. Oh, look, the snail didn't go very far in 3 months. It still went a quarter of the distance, right? So I can't give you anything tangible, but what I can tell you is the process works. And as long as there's focus on progressive overload and hard training over time, you're going to do great. Big Jonathan. With 10 months left in 2024, let me just have a little refresher here. If I start my bulk now, what would you advise? Okay, let's unpack this a little bit. 6'4", you're 6 inches taller than me. That puts you, for every inch you're taller, that adds about 5 pounds of mass to your body on the average, give or take. Bones, blood, skin, stuff, right? All the good stuff, nerves and veins and stuff, right? It adds all the stuff. So you're 6 inches taller than me. That's about 30 pounds. We can go 25 to 30 just of stuff, right? You have more stuff. So if you take, we're looking at an equivalent for a 5'10". If you take off 30, you'd be at around 5'10", 141. I was at that weight, and I don't know what you look like, right? I'm not stalking you. Your mom doesn't send me pictures yet. Just a joke. I'm not stalking you. I don't know what you look like. Many people on Team Massive send, photos for body composition, and I have a hard time remembering because I see so many, so don't hate. But when I was 5'10", 141, it was during cross country as a 10th grader in high school, and I looked like Mick Twiggy. Okay, I don't know what you look like, so I'm not assuming, but I look like Mick Twiggy. You have like 20, 25 pounds till your body normalizes, because a 5'10" lifter on stage that's competing in the novice bodybuilding is probably going to be in the high 150s, low 160s. Competing, ripped, novice bodybuilders. Okay? and they're low body fat. So you have at least 25, 30 pounds to normalize your body weight. So we got that in hand, okay? And then we're not going to try to over bulk, but there is certainly room to do a long-term bulk. So what I would do is I would cap out at 200. Sounds like a big, round, juicy number, right? So 200 for you would be about 170 for a man that was 5'10". I would do that. I would just dig in and get on with it. Hard training and progressive overload. I would wake up January 1st, take off all those sweatpants, all those hoodies, see what's underneath the hood. And then we can reassess, maybe do 15-pound bulks, 10-pound cut, 15-pound bulk, 10-pound cut. We can do that maybe 12-pound bulk, 8-pound cut. We can kind of move forward like that the next 15, 18, 24 months and really work on body composition. How does that sound? Eric, good evening from Germany. What an interesting topic. Question to that. Let's say you squat 205 for a challenging set of 10. Now you become stronger. Does it feel difficult? Mentally, it feels better, right? Mentally, there is a building of mental strength, but it's going to feel lighter also because you're not going deep. You're going to do a warm-up. Let's say you do 5 reps on a warm-up, 4 reps on a warm-up, right? 6 reps on a warm-up. It's not going to feel as intense from a cardiovascular or general overall stress standpoint, but it's still going to be 200 pounds, right? You're going to get under it and it's still going to feel like 200 pounds. That's not to say it won't feel lighter, but I mean, your confidence will be way up. It'll feel lighter a little bit, but it's still 200 pounds. There's still guys like everybody out there trying to squat that feels like an impossible amount of weight. So, when I was building my squat back up this last 6 weeks, 205. My wife's dogs are going crazy. That still felt heavy to me. It still did. But I think you just get comfortable with it. Does that make sense? Soy sauce nanner. We got extra. We got Anna. Soy sauce ban Anna. I'm not going to ban Anna. I don't know who she is. Dogs are going nuts. Is apple cider vinegar overhyped? Well, I got to be careful when I phrase this. Like, could there be benefits to apple cider vinegar? Scientifically, that it benefits eating broccoli. There's benefits to eating steak. There's benefits in small degrees to doing a lot of healthy things. But when we turn these things into like cults of sorts, where I'm only going to eat fish and broccoli, I'm only going to drink apple cider vinegar every day, 3 cups. That's when we get a little crazy. We gotta be sane. We gotta be balanced, right? You're not sure, drink a little bit, do a little bit, do whatever. Most of the benefits people say it has by just losing weight and drinking less alcohol. I mean, if you're drinking alcohol and you stop, you're going to lose weight drinking Diet Coke. Let's be real. I don't know what people are saying. Everything is overhyped. Anything that's hyped is overhyped, right? We have to be reasonable. Eat animal-based, eat plant-based most of the time. Have a little bit of fun. Don't abuse things. And don't fall into the pit of magic weeds and plants and roots and seeds and nuts and drinks and all this kind of happy horse shit. Drinking your kombucha 82 times a day. And, oh, my God, yoga is going to save me and I'm never going to have a pain. There's value in anything healthy, but it's the bigger picture, right? Does that make sense? Big JJ Jones, on my upper posterior, would you recommend doing 1 shoulder press variation and 1 lateral raise variation on each upper day? No, I wouldn't do it that way. Laterals are a good fourth exercise, but they don't have a big progression opportunity. I would do like a bulldozer. You could do a bulldozer lateral instead if you didn't want to do on one of the days. But it's always better to have more pressing. It's always better to have more stress on the body, more progression opportunity, as long as you can handle it. All right, Big E Eric. I want to get everything as strong as possible, but when I program, I find myself doing more and more isolation stuff. How can I get everything strong? Stop doing isolation stuff. Make yourself do what you don't want to do. Floofy, poofy, pumpy, fluffy, fluffy, fliffy, floofy work isn't going to get it done. It has limited. It might feel, I can make 20-pound dumbbells feel difficult on laterals, but if I do that for the next 10 years, I'm not going to get strong because it's a lightweight. And yes, I can make it feel hard. Like you go to your CrossFit gym and you do wall balls and burpees and wall balls and burpees and things and fake pull-ups and all that kind of crap. Oh, it's going to be hard. But that's different from focused hypertrophy training. Hypertrophy training requires progression over time, and that's simply not going to cut it. That's just the reality. You need to get past it. I'm noticing something. Does too many grinder reps contribute to overall? Of course they do. Doing 4 days a week upper posterior and feeling a bit tired. Well, I don't know your program and I don't know your experience level. Yes, we want fatigue. We want to be taxed. We want to be pushed. I don't know your situation. I'm not speaking directly to you, but anybody that wants muscle and doesn't want fatigue, it's not happening, my friend. I don't know what your diet looks like. I don't know what your sleep looks like. You got some kind of a frog smoking a joint. That's kind of a red flag. I'm not saying pot is bad, but it scares me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, is your sleep good? Is your nutrition on point? Sometimes just as a beginner, late beginner, you're going to have more fatigue. You're going to have more soreness. You're going to have to develop work capacity, right? When you start running, you're going to be more sore. You're going to be mentally more challenged, and you're going to be more fatigued. Is it inherently bad fatigue? No. Can it be? Well, sometimes you need to pull back slightly to allow things to acclimate, but over the long run, you're going to need to push yourself. So most sets, you could try and maybe just the last set max safe reps. We don't have to do every set to close to failure. Big Daniel White Jr. I'm struggling to do pull-ups. What other back exercise? Pull-ups are not, they're a struggle for a lot of people. I'm going to tell you right now, heavy-ass rows, deadlifts, and heavy-ass rows, followed by more heavy-ass rows and big, juicy, heavy-ass rows. Pendlay row, don't care if you do it. Barbell row, don't care if you do it. T-bar row, don't care if you do it. Dumbbell row, don't care if you do it. But you got to do some of them. You got to do a lot of them. You got to get some big-ass rows in the mix. And your deadlifts, too. I feel like if I don't take every set to the grinder level, then I won't know. That's your feelings. So you started the second word, I feel, right? You've created a paradigm. You've created a reality that's false. That's not reality, okay? And the only thing I can tell you is you created a fantasy world and you're living in it. You got your Barbies over in the corner with their little pink car. Ken's got a surfboard. You got your army men set up on the floor. You got those fungo pop things all over, those are like your guards are just guarding whatever, those fucking fungo pop fucking things that are everywhere. I don't understand. I'm not hating on you guys, but I don't get it. Whatever. Is that what they're called? Fungo pop? What the hell is up with that? Anyway, I don't get it. I'm too old to understand that. So, call me boomer, hate on me, whatever you want. I get a kick out of when people call Gen X boomers. Like, we don't like boomers. We're nothing like boomers. Anyway, no, you created a fantasy world. and it's not reality. You just have to say that's not reality. You really only have to push at least one set hard. You got to do some hard training, and that's going to involve at least one set per exercise, pushed harder and trying to get more than last time. And you can build up from there. Happy Friday. What's your opinion on adaptive resistance? Body stops responding. No, it doesn't stop responding. The body does not stop responding to stimulus. It doesn't. What the body does is it gets used to the demands of the stimulus. Therefore, you can progress easier. Okay. Let me explain. You are not doing hack squats. Let's say, for example, you're not doing hack squats right now. Okay. Not doing hack squats, no particular reason. You just never considered them. You assume they would suck. But it's a lazy day in the gym and you're bored. So you try to do the hack squat and you have an epiphany. Wow, that feels great. I never thought the hack squat would feel that great. So you start doing hack squats. The first 2, 3, 4 weeks, your body is acclimating to the unique demands of the hack squat. You're not necessarily running full speed because you're getting used to the demands of the exercise. Your connective tissue, your central nervous system, everything is getting used to the demands, the unique demands of that exercise. It's like when you go run, right? When you really begin full-on training, it's not the first break-in period. It's when the body has adapted to the demands of that physical stimulus, and now you can run. Now you can train. You have a period of adaptation and then a period where you train. These knuckleheads that are constantly switching shit up never allow the body to adapt properly to the demands of an exercise, and they never are able to run. They're switching crap up. And the reason why they hurt all the time is their body is constantly trying to figure out new exercises each and every week. That is dumb, right? So we want the body to adapt to the physical demands of that exercise so we can run. The body is never going to adapt to an exercise to the point where you can't progress. That does not happen. Anybody teaching that isn't, I don't know. It doesn't happen. This doesn't mean we don't try new programs and approaches. Progress is always going to slow down. That's the nature of reality. The stronger you get, the harder it is to get strong. The bigger you get, the harder it is to get bigger. That's the way it works. We can't get infinitely big and infinitely strong because we are not infinitely infinite. We are not gods, right? So the body does not adapt to an exercise after a long period of time. I don't know if anybody's teaching this or if you're just more curious, but it's a non-concept. Accidentally push send. Meant to say, is this a silly way to think? We already did that one. Big Sam, what's going on, Sam? Would like to do 3 times a week full body routine. Would a 3 times a week full body routine? We have to get out of this mindset. It's toxic, right? It's toxic. You do what you want, you do what you like, and you work it hard. Over the course of 10 years, you're going to try many different programs. Everybody's going to try many different programs. Some people are going to train for 3 weeks or 3 times a week for a season, and 5 times a week for a season. We can't get caught up in nonsense. Train hard. Focus on what you can control. Train hard. You're going to see quality results. I just wrote about this when writing my book, in my book yesterday. There's this belief that the difference in 2 reasonable variables is a huge gap. There's a belief that between 3 days a week and 5 days a week, there's this huge gap. Like if you train 5 days a week, you're going to gain 15 pounds of muscle a year. If you train 3 days a week, it might only be 6. We believe there's this huge gap. That is a lie. Okay? The gap is like, and applied over 5 to 6 years, it's nothing. There's no difference. There's no difference applied over a long training career. The issue is we look at the short term and we don't consider the long term. If you train hard on any program, a reasonable program, and both of these are reasonable, over the course of 5 to 10 years, everybody's going to reach where they're going to reach if you do everything you're supposed to be doing. You're going to get there. Okay? You're going to get there. Do not fall into the lies that are pushed by so many ignorant fucks in this industry that there's a magic way. The magic way is hard training. That's the magic way. And as long as you're doing so with a reasonable amount of weekly volume and you're giving her, you're going to see great results. And the gap between that and adding more volume, going up to 4 days or 5 days, sure, that opens the opportunity a little bit more volume, but it's not a wide gap in difference in gains. It's trivial. And over the course of 10 years of training, it's not going to matter. I mean, let's be realistic and look at the big picture. You get me. We're going to go back in time, and we know we're going to nail everything. Sleep, stress, eating, bulking, cutting. We have a good exercise selection. We're going to just have our big balls in our hands, and we're going to crush the next 10 years. I'm going to do 5 days a week. You're going to do 3 days a week. I like 5. You like 3. What's going to happen after 10 years? We're both going to look freaking awesome. There's going to be no difference. I might start out just a nudge higher than you, but you're going to catch up eventually because when you start out quicker, you hit the wall quicker, right? So somebody that starts out quicker hits the wall quicker and gains slow quicker. Somebody that starts out a little bit more slowly, they might start out more slowly, but they still have more room to accelerate. And at the pinnacle or the peak, after 10 years, you're going to hit the same spot. It's just a mathematical, physiological reality. You train hard for 10 years, 5 years, you're going to get there. But here's a bigger reality. We're all going to have different seasons, right? We're all going to have seasons when we can't train optimally. Don't fear it. Train hard always, my friend. Big CJ, how do you prefer lunges? I prefer to walk. How do you prefer lunges? I prefer alternating in place. I don't want to overstep, right? I think you can get to the point where you want to take a natural step, but it should be comfortably extended, not overextended. The belief that you're gonna somehow going super extended is going to provide a lot of additional benefit is not really legit. I mean, you can do lunges up to a boxed leg forward. Stepping down, going deeper has some value. I like to do them alternating. I don't like to walk, right? I like to alternate in place. Walking in a gym, you're going to have some knucklehead always not paying attention with his, earbuds in. I ain't walking in a gym, no way. I mean, being reasonably upright, there's, you certainly don't want to lean forward. How can I get away with maxing out right now when the weight is still low? Should that only be a concern? You can max out anytime you want. I mean, you can test your max as often as you want, but anytime you do so, it's just really a wasted workout. I'm not saying it can't have value 2-3 times a year, but if that's our only goal, consistently, we're just throwing away workouts. Max it. You want to max. This is your world, your fantasy creation. Do what you want to do. Why are you concerned that big boys are benching 315? Should that only maxing shouldn't look? Maxing has no place in muscle building. I'm not saying you can't max. I never knew of the concept of maxing out training. It was only 2007 when I started to get on the worldwide inner tubes. I ran into bodybuilding.com forums and other forums in the mid 2000s that early mid 2000s that I really ran into the concept. And legit, I just didn't ever cross my mind that we would try to test our 1 rep max strength. I always knew if I benched 225 by 10, I was fucking strong, right? I always knew I could do a lot more, but I knew to build muscle that I needed to have rep ranges and volume and in tension. You can max anytime you want. Just do it wisely, but don't overmax. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm fighting my own fight. Fight your own fight. This might be a weird question, but have you found a style or brand of mattress? Yeah, the one my wife likes. I had a mattress before I got married that kind of sunk in, adapted to your body, and that was like, oh yeah, memory foam, and then you get up and it would do the thing and go back to normal. That's what I liked. But I'm going to tell you something. Let me pull the microphone up here real close. When I got married, anything I liked didn't matter anymore. It's what my wife liked. And she didn't like the mattress, so I like what she likes, or else I hear about it every day. That's all I have to say. Big, hairy, ugly dude, have you ever had non-responders? No. No, a lot of people think they're non-responders or poor responders. If you stick to the process, you see results. I have guys at different paces, obviously. We hit a good pace, and then we hit a shoulder injury, just from being older, and we got to take 3 or 4 months down. I've never seen anybody train hard and not get value from it. I don't believe in non-responders. Like, what kind of rare disease do you have that if you push your body, it doesn't adapt? I don't believe in that. That's nonsense. Like, if you go run every day, your body's going to adapt and you're going to be able to run. All right, we're an hour in. I'm going to have a drinky poo. All right. Fear of weight needs to be qualified. If squatting alone, even with safeties, doesn't scare you, are you really pushing? Yeah, I mean, that scares me. That's why I've only trained to failure accidentally a few times in the gym. Benching too. I mean, let's be real. On those 2 lifts, if you're not a little bit afraid, then are you training hard enough? Right? That is, it sounds like, alpha stuff, but it's more or less a reality. All right, guys, every week, one question, one person who posted before live starts gets a chance to win a t-shirt, hoodie, whey, creatine, whatever. I'm going to give that to him. I'm noticing something. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, or email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. I'll give you some free stuff, something free, whatever you want. All right, let me get that off there now. Anthony, where are you at? On Instagram, you posted Troy, one of my over 50 clients, making great results, who isn't taking TRT despite all the little twerps and weirdos that can't believe that a world exists where people can work hard over 50 and make good progress. It must be TRT. Besides crushing it after 50, what else sets him apart? Doesn't bitch, does the work, never complains, never hear an excuse. Always reporting, always doing the work. Always let me know what hurts, what adaptations feel better, what feels worse. Proper feedback so we can stay in the optimal lane. #optimal. Right. The common denominator of successful clients is I give them a path, and I'm not magic. I give them a path, nutrition-wise and training-wise, and they do it. They don't dick-daw around and overbulk. I got to cut now. I just gained 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Oops. #binge eating. They don't sit around and go, oh, I forgot to get you my workout report. Oh, I forgot to get you my calories. Oh, I don't know what my calories are. People that have good results have one common denominator. They're invested. They fucking care. They get their workouts. They do their workouts. They trust the process. They trust their coach. Look, I'm not magic. Any coach with a reasonable program and a reasonable bulking approach is going to get you to where you want to go. But if you don't do it, I don't know what more needs to be said. The clients that are just like clockwork, and I have many of them. Guys like Troy, who I post on my Instagram. Guys like Harut, which I post on my Instagram. Many of them. So many names I could go on. Those guys, I know I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to have their workout reports. I'm going to have their feedback. I'm going to have their form videos, and they know where their calories are at, and they have PRs in every workout. I know. Those are the praise Crom. And if you don't know what Crom is, watch Conan. Those are the clients we just have to keep on the tracks. Those are the clients that are crushing it. You want to know the true magic muscle building secret. It is stick to the fucking plan. Stop dicking around. Stop with the fuck around itis. Stop. Do the 4 to 5 month bulk. Do the quick 1 month cut. Get back on it. Push for PRs. Stay healthy. Magic things happen after 2 years. Big CJ, Chris Jackson. My safeties have always been set perfectly. The difference between the safety and my squat height is the difference between my normal depth and ATG. I often use them too often for their purpose. I will say if you have safeties and you don't know what the proper depth to set them at, then we probably need to correct that, right? Because I know exactly I can set them here and I have an inch to go. Occasionally, randomly, you'll go a little bit lower. You might fall a little bit forward or whatever. What's your connection to the University of Wisconsin? I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I'm a Packers fan, a Badgers fan, and this is a gift from my wife. I actually have 2 of these hoodies. I love this hoodie. Can't you tell? I wear it in the cold all the time. I take it off the lift. I put it back on. I love these hoodies. They're the most comfortable hoodies I've ever had. They're not too heavy, not too thick, and born and raised a Badger. Back on the BULK, not the FULK, the fat bulk, the Falk, ready to add some more strength and muscle. Thank you, Zach. Get after it. Hey, coach, is it possible and advisable to practice pull-up strength in the off days? Yes. The only thing you don't want to do is have any lat fatigue headed into deadlifts. So if you do deadlifts, whatever deadlift day that is, I would probably take a break from pull-ups 2 days before. Other than that, you're pretty much do them as often as you want. You always come across as very eloquent during these lives. Do you ever rehearse or prepare for them at all, or is it just instinctive? I think it's the fact that I've been talking my whole life, and it's the first time anyone called me eloquent. So I'm appreciate the compliment. I've just been doing this forever on forums and on lives and on video. So I feel comfortable speaking about nearly anything lifting. I don't sit at night with any fear that there are holes in my lifting because I'm so immersed in this from sun up to sundown, looking at client information, looking at questions, looking at your information, that I think I stay fresh as I can be, just from being fully immersed in this. It excites me to be immersed in a profession that I love. I have lived in jobs I did not love, and we all know what those are like. Horrible. I thought my whole life would be living in jobs I didn't love. And I never, never, never in a million years thought I would be here. And this is kind of a rabbit trail, but people ask me a lot, how can I get to where you are? And I'm not a big YouTube channel by any means. I know I'm a niche, not right for everyone. That's okay. I have the ability to work for myself, coaching people. I was just named Coach of the Year by the largest training app in the world. I didn't even know I was in the top 100,000. They have like 400,000 coaches on there, whatever their number is. And I don't even know how I won. I don't even care. I'll take it. All I know is grind, grind, grind. And it's not a grind. Like, I love what I do. Thank you. I don't ever rehearse. I think I just play the game so often I can play in my sleep. Can you tell us a bit about your first coaching client? Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. One of my first coaching clients is still with me, Ryan. And he's been with me a long time, man, long time. I've had a lot of guys on for a long haul. Some of the folks I picked up during the first year are still with me. Derek, Ryan, I'm sure I got a couple. Stuart from Scotland, he's been with me forever. I care about these people. My first coaching client was Glenna, a 50-plus-year-old woman. And I wasn't even thinking about coaching at the time. It was just magical coincidence. I'd coached on the platform. I'd coached in powerlifting plenty of times, plenty of people, a lot of meets, a lot of people. So I'm not counting that. I'm counting, online coaching. Her son worked out at the gym with me, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to get my mom some personal training." I've never trained anybody like personally in the gym other than powerlifting coach, but I've never coached Gen Pop, general population people. And I said, "Sure, I'll take your money." Right, I'll take your money. And Glenna she did really well the first 6 months, losing like 30 pounds. She wasn't super heavy. She went from like 180 to 150, right? So she did really well and hit kind of a stagnation point a little bit. Didn't gain weight, didn't lose weight. She ended up going to Kakapon with me to try the 12-hour endurance run, but she walked with her husband. They both got 20 miles. Here is the bad thing, though, about fat loss clients when they leave coaching, and this happens so incredibly often. They can spend a year, 2 years, 3 years with a coach, and then when they leave and they don't have the accountability, they can go back up. I hate to say this because they're the local. I care about her. I think she's at her heaviest weight ever now. I don't know for a fact. I've had clients leave. I had one client leave and gain 200 pounds. It's heartbreaking. When you get too confident that you are in control, like, people think they can get on a track. This is more for fat loss clients, not muscle building clients. Muscle building clients, they tend to like lifting, right? They tend to know the rules. I'm going to eat protein. I'm going to lift. And they can leave you, and they're still going to generally lift. Fat loss Gen Pop people, too many of them look at it like a program. I'm going to lose a little bit of weight and then life's going to be all sparkles and pretty flowers, right? And then I'm going to lose weight and go back to my old habits. And they lose weight and go back to their old habits. And guess what? Like occasionally you'll get somebody, this has happened many times over the years. Someone will say, a fat loss client, I can't wait to get to my goal weight so I can go back to, ready? Normal eating. Echo, echo, echo. Normal eating. Echo, echo, echo. No, normal eating got you fat, dummy. To quote Fred Sanford, you big dummy. Normal eating isn't normal. It was abnormal. It made your weight abnormal. You big dummy. Right? You can't go back to normal eating because it wasn't normal. You were eating like a juvenile. You're eating like a child. You're eating like a fat pig. You're eating on whims. What do I want today? What sounds tasty? I'm going to eat a big burrito the size of my forearm. I'll start on Monday. Right? Like, I can't wait to leave this eating lifestyle so I can go back to normal. You know what I tell them? You have to eat like this the rest of your life. You have to eat like this the rest of your life. The only difference is you get more calories when you stop being fat. I know that's not popular to say in 2024, but if you're fat, you don't get to go back to normal eating because normal eating got you fat. How do I eat when I'm done with this fat loss stage? Guess what? You're eating the same thing. You just get more calories. Those more calories you get, maybe 20% or whatever to maintenance level. Oh, they can be a little bit of ice cream. They can be a little bit of beer. Guess what? You got to learn to moderate. McPiggy. Not Miss Piggy. McPiggy. McDonald's. McPiggies. That's what we are. You got to learn to moderate. You can't eat all the cheesecakes and do second helpings of dessert because you were a fat pig. I was a fat pig. I'm okay with calling you a fat pig because I was a fat pig. And that's what I did. I know if I don't want to be a fat pig, I can't go back to normal eating, right? Normal eating almost killed me, literally. Normal eating was abnormal eating. Normal eating is eating like an adult, not just going, I want ice cream, I'm going to eat it, right? Adults have responsibilities. Responsibilities. They do what is right because it's the right thing to do. They not live on whims. I don't like to eat veggies. I do not care. It's the right thing to do. I don't like protein. I don't care. Any of us really like to spend 4 minutes a day brushing our tooth? I can find better things to do. Heck, I can find better things to do than washing my ass every night. There are things we need to do every single day that will take care of us. We have responsibilities to ourselves. You don't want to do them, fine. What happens? Your tooth going to fall out if you don't brush your tooth. Your ass going to stink if you don't wash your ass. And you're going to get fat if you eat like a child. You hide inside and you're antisocial. I hate brushing my tooth. You hide inside and you're antisocial. Fine. Sit on the couch. I'm not bashing on anybody. I'm not. You be you. Life is short. Life is tough. It is. I went through my crap. My dad was a violent alcoholic. God rest his soul. But he put me through hell when I was a kid. We all go through crap, right? Life is hard. I get it. If you want to sit and eat Doritos, that's all you want to eat, drink your Mountain Dew, and binge watch, go ahead. I would never judge you, brother, sister. I would never. Life is hard, and if that's your joy, then do it. But I'll tell you what. Here's where the struggle comes in. You wake up and you want to be better. You know what the right thing to do is. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like shit. I want to be in some form of shape. You know, there's two types of people. You got Lulu Bell and her buddy Big Bob sitting on the couch doing their thing. God bless them. Eat up, binge watch, enjoy that life. They're not thinking about exercise for a second. I respect them because they is who they is, right? Better to be what you is than what you ain't, because if you ain't what you is what you ain't. Take time to unpack that. Better to be what you is than what you ain't, because if you ain't what you is what you ain't. I respect Lulu Bell and Big Fat Bob sitting on the couch, eating their Doritos, binge eating pizza, not thinking about exercise, because they don't give a shit about exercise, and that's okay, because they're not trapped in limbo. They're not trapped in hell. They're doing their thing. They're playing their cards, and they're riding it out. It's their life, and it's not our place to judge unless they are not productive members of society and they are burdening me and you. Then they need to get their shit together, because I ain't paying for your ass to sit on the couch just because you want to be lazy. If you're able-bodied, get your fat ass off the couch and do something and be productive. If you're productive, you go to work, make a living, pay your taxes, whatever, then we're good. If you want to be a lazy fat ass and have us pay for you, fuck you, right? Excuse my language. I'm getting a little bit of fired up. We can't all do that. Why do you get to be special? But if you're being a productive member of society, then you can smoke all the cigarettes, smoke all the weed, drink all the alcohol, play all the video games, do all the stuff, and never think about exercising. And I respect you. You are doing you, and you have my respect. I'm not going to tell you how to live because you're a productive member of society. That's freedom. God bless you. Amen. Carry on. But you have people that wake up and they say to themselves, I know I want to be better. I know I can be better. I don't want to live like this. I feel like crap. Okay, they're Lulu Bell, Big Bob, Big Fat Bob on the couch, and they don't like it. They're not sold out to that lifestyle. It makes them feel like crap, and they don't want to feel that way. But they can't detach from that lifestyle and leave into a new lifestyle. They can't invest. So what do? They spend their entire life seeking magic things, seeking magic diets, trying this, trying that, trying this, trying that, trying this, trying that, exercise diet, and they just get bigger and bigger every year. They're trying to be something they ain't. Why do I say that? Because if you was, you'd be doing it. You feel guilt. You feel guilt over your lifestyle. So it's better to be what you is than what you ain't. Why would you carry that around? If you like eating Doritos and being a couch muppet, as long as you're productive, why don't you just go for it? But you know how many people I see that won't fucking detach from their old lifestyle, and they spend 40, 50 years in the same grind. I'm going to start the diet Monday. I'm going to start the exercise Monday. I'm going to start the diet Monday. And all they're thinking about all day long is diet and exercise, but they never get invested. They never get committed into that lifestyle because they like the old lifestyle better. I don't have any respect for you. Because you know better, but you're unwilling to do what it takes. You want me to say I respect that? I don't. Because you know better. What are you waiting for? Either be what you is or stop trying to be what you ain't. Why are you going to waste your life? Spending 40 years. I'm going to try the cabbage soup diet. I'm going to do I'm going to do intermittent fasting next week. I'm going to try Noom and Zoom and Boom and Flume and all these kind of fucking programs. Why don't you get up and take care of yourself like an adult? If you realize you're not taking care of yourself, you're just being a child, right? You know better. People that know better but don't do it, you want me to respect that? No, I respect them more saying, I don't want to exercise. God bless you, man. That's just my opinion. Maybe you see things differently. Maybe I'm hard ass. But I think it's ridiculous to wake up every day and be trapped in another lifestyle you never want to commit to. What kind of hell is that? I see it all the time. And I love these people. I want to see them succeed. Every trainer goes through this. Every coach goes through this. Most people know better. Sure, we're growing a breed of land whales and land mammals. They're productive. They go to work. They like to eat a little bit too much. But hey, I respect them because I want to exercise. Good. You be you. You're being productive. But if you know there's a better way and you put yourself in limbo because you're fighting against, like, you can't make the jump. What are you doing? Why are you're wasting your life? All you need to do is fucking commit and get it over with. You are so entrapped by your addictions. They control you. They control you. And I know I like to stick to muscle building and strength building, but it is an addiction. If it controls you, you're fucked. You have to take a period where you can regain control. You need to remove yourself from that stuff until you gain control. If you can't break free from eating Doritos, they're controlling you. Hey, I like Doritos too. I like pizza too, but I need to be in control or it's going to hurt my health. The people that know that, all right, let's move on. What precautions can we take to not get decapitated while lifting alone? I've never had the risk of decapitation, but on bench, you need to get you need to invest in some spotter arms, something. You need to. Bench setups are in the archaic Precambrian age. One thing that aggravates me, we have all these elaborate machines in the gym designed by these brilliant minds, but you go over to a bench and it's like a walking guillotine. We can't figure out how to put things in and design things so people don't get guillotined. I lift in a squat rack. I set the pins, so that's why I don't bench all the way in my chest, or I do a little bit of arch so I can de-arch and then set it down on pins. Got to bench in the squat rack. Got to have something like that. You're going to train at home, that's the game you got to play. I go to a commercial gym, you know what I do? I bench in the squat rack. Because y'all ain't going to depth anyway, so I don't care. I'm going to take it to do bench. Right? I don't care. But no, seriously, I'm not going to, if it only had one or two squat racks, I'm not going to mess with people's. But if, like the last gym I went to, they had 7 places for you to squat. You think I ain't going to use one of those to bench in? Hell yeah, I am. Because I don't want no guillotine, right? That's what you got to do at home. You got to set up some catch pins. You got to buy some catch pins online. Those are relatively cheap. Or you got to get some sawhorses or whatever. Do something. Is swimming severely underrated? I think so. I think swimming and hiking are very underrated. There's not a lot of prominent fitness YouTube channels talking about swimming. A lot of people end up doing running. So, yeah, I would say it's underrated. I would love to be able to swim. I have this weird, bizarre fear of putting my head underwater. Not even going to lie. So, I wish I didn't. Is your book going to be physical as well as digital? Yeah. The physical, my concern is it's going to be so large, it might end up being 4 books. I mean, I don't want it to be like you get it and you're like, oh, there's this book that's like 3 times the size of the Bible, right? Spine cracks. So it might come in 4 volumes. I have to figure out how that works. I don't know. But yeah, there's going to be physical copies. I've debated pre-selling to anyone that pre-sells before it comes out can get a signed copy, but I don't want to take people's money before I have something finished. Thoughts about microloading? Yeah, progression is progression. Microloading is not going to slow your progression. It'll make it probably more fluid, where you're hitting more consistent PRs, but it's not going to slow your progression. That's kind of the fear that people have, is that somehow if they do this, that, or the other thing, like if you hit like 180 by 9 on bench and you think, oh, I'm going to jump up to 190, go to 185, go to the next lowest step. It's just going to make progression more smooth. It's not going to slow reps, or it's not going to slow progression. Are you from Wisconsin? Yep, from Fond du Lac. What's it like up there? I can honestly say it's the worst. Being born and raised there, I can say it's the worst place I've ever lived. It is. It's not fun. You get like winter and then snow. Like usually come Halloween, you're like, oh yeah, I'm a kid. It's Halloween. Oh hell, here comes the snow, and then it's like blizzards and blizzards and blizzards. I walked to school as a kid in blizzards. I did. My mom didn't even have a car. I'm not even lying. Snow, then maybe March, April, whoa, it gets to 40 degrees. But the thing about Wisconsin is like 2 things happen when the 3 months of summer hits. Number one, because it's so cold for so long, every bug on planet and Earth comes out at the same time. Japanese beetles, mosquitoes, flies, June bugs, the whole party. They all wake up from that long winter slumber in Wisconsin, and they're all like, bah, bah, bah. Japanese beetles hitting you in the head. Can't go out after 8 o'clock because at 7 o'clock, mosquitoes are going to eat you to death. Wake up and there's a June bug in your bed. Y'all think I'm kidding, right? No. Flies all over the house, no matter how hard you like. That's Wisconsin. Excuse me. And all you got in the winter is to watch the Packers and the Badgers. If you're lucky, the Brewers won't suck ass. And then there's some good things about it, the culture. But between the weather and the bugs, and then summer is like, oh, all of a sudden you just hit like nasty winter forever, and then it's 95, 90, and 100% humidity for like the 3 months of summer, and you're just sweating. You can't go out at night because of mosquitoes. But there are some good things. We have sausage stands, bratwurst stands at everywhere, gas stations, grocery stores. We love our bratwurst. Love it, love it, love it. We have a lot of crappy, mediocre beer. Bruce said I need to wear a kilt. I wear a kilt, no problem. Do you have a favorite lifting book? Yeah, I do. It's the book I had right away. Let me just see it. It's a book I found at a Barnes & Noble way back in the day. And I'm trying to find it online. It had a black cover, and the pictures were all black and white. And I forget the name. Here it is. Bodybuilding the Weider Approach. Let me just copy. Let me copy image address. I'll show you guys real quick. There we go. This is my favorite. This is my favorite book. And I'm going to bring it up on screen. So hold on. Present, share screen. This book is just, to me, this book is, to me, what it was everything. It had all the old school guys, Arnold and Lou and Robbie and Dickerson and Columbo, and it was a weeder book, but it was just hardcore and guys in old school dungeons doing the grind and progressive overload and hard training. And is before everybody looks like a Stay Puft Marshmallow version of a bodybuilder. It felt more real. This is my book. Weeder did a lot of stupid things in the industry, but damn do I love that book. All right. Safety bar gang. That one Rainbow Crew strongman, Kearney. Kearney. Let me just Google him because I don't know the name. I'm not dissing anybody with, different colored hair. I know some people do it. But you know what I'm talking about. Like he's the exception. What I mean more in general is these, cotton candy haired people that you just generally don't see them out running. You know what I'm saying? It will be better to put stockings on weights instead of fur and high heels on dumbbells. Get a picture of that. We'd like to see that. Anthony, would you say getting to 80% muscle potential takes around? If you do it, if you train hard, here's the general rules. You got everything in place, and some people don't like to hear this, but this is a good generalization. We're not trying to create rules. The average individual can gain about 30 to 35 pounds of muscle over the course of their life. Average. Well, I like to use 32 because it's a good median. Okay. And it's a round number, makes math easy. So you have the potential to gain about half of your natural potential in the first year, or every year, whatever you have left, you have the potential to gain about half. Am I pulling this out of my ass? No. Dr. Casey Butt, and I know his name is Butt. I know. Laugh. Get it out of your system. You good? You good? You good? We're good. All right, Butt. He did the most extensive research on natural potential and rate of gains. And a lot of his information was lost. It's no longer on the internet, but I have copies. And it's as good as it gets. Is it flawed to a degree? Casey's smart. He's not trying to make rules. But it is reasonable. Within reason, it makes sense. And it's very, very close. So what he deduced, and this is the curve you tend to see, is that a lifter has the potential to gain about half of their remaining potential in 1 year. Okay? You're doing everything right. It never happens. But you're one of the freaks. Nailing sleep, nailing food, nailing training, out of the gate, boom. You're magic. You're a unicorn. So we have the potential to gain about 32 pounds of mass our first year. I'm going to answer your question. Or no, we have the potential to gain about 32 pounds of mass over the course of our life, give or take. But we're going to use that number. If you are optimal in every way, you could gain 16. That means you have 16 left for the second year. You're going to gain about 8. You have 8 left for the third, or 8 left over the course of your life. You're going to gain about 4. So 16 plus 8 plus 4 is 28. Okay. You could legitimately, if you were a magical unicorn, gain about 85, 88, 90% of your natural muscle building potential in the first 3 years. How many people do that? Right? They have ups and downs. Even Jeffrey Verity Schofield had a slow spot and then he accelerated. So just the way it is, But is it realistic? Not many people get there. It's going to be more like 8, 10, 6, 8, 10, 4, whatever. If you train hard, though, I have clients doing it, getting to 80% after, within 3 years. I have clients doing it. It can be done. It's just very, very difficult and requires extreme focus. Are we still doing the no estrogen tea? Maybe. It all comes down to me finding the right images and fonts and stuff for that in the 3 seconds I have in my free time. Whenever I cut aggressively, I tend to gain the weight back really fast after the cut, even though the cut is easy. How do I prevent that? We need a better bulking strategy. Because look, the first 2, 3, 4 pounds are going to be water weight. And then when you go back to a bulk, you're going to gain 2, 3, 4 pounds of water weight back. That's going to happen. That's the give and take that happens. But on top of that, we need 10 pounds of, playroom to cut the bulk. So if you're gaining too rapidly, you're eating too much. You need to be tracking calories and you need to pull them back so it's more reasonable. Ultra Beast 31. I know if you know what Ramadan is, yes, sir. Any coach, I have many Muslim clients. I have many clients all over the world, so many clients headed into that. Should I keep cutting during Ramadan? It's a good time to cut. It's really highly individual. What you want to do. You could maintain, you could cut. We could even try to bulk. It requires precision focus and eating more food in the evenings, but you could do that as well. It's really up to you. Big Troy. Tried knee wraps for squats. Felt really good. Should I only wear them if? No. You don't want to take knee wraps on and off, okay? It's like a relationship. Either you're in or you're not. If you start taking them off, your body's going to adapt to the support a little bit. So if you take them off, you just have to go a little bit lighter for a spell so your body can adapt to training without them on. Okay? So you don't want to be either or, hot or cold. You either have to be in or you have to be out. Being in requires extra time. I squatted last night. Putting on your knee wraps before every squat set is a pain in the ass. If you wrap them tightly, you can't keep them on for your entire 15, 20-minute squat session. You can't. So you're going to have to wrap it for every set. If you could train with one person, who would it be? Tom Platz, just for one day. Not for longer than that, though. Just for one day. I think a big issue people have is confusing advice for competitive bodybuilders. Here we go. This is a good one. With advice for people making progress who don't compete. There's not nearly as much. Yeah, absolutely. That's a world of precision, especially during cuts. That's where a lot of silly things come, like the fear of muscle loss. The average lifter doing a cut's not going to lose mass, maybe an ounce, but it comes right back. It's called, muscle memory. But this fear like you're going to lose 5-6 pounds or whatever, it's silly, right? You're absolutely right. Hey, Steve, how much pounds of muscle can be expected to gain every time? Let's say you bulk 3 times over the year or 5-6 times over the course of 2 years. I would hope you're gaining about 16 pounds of muscle. That is pretty good over the course of 2 years. And let's say you do 5-6 cycles, 2, 3, maybe 4 pounds. Okay. 2 to 3 doesn't sound like much, but if you gain 2 to 3 pounds of mass every bulking cycle, and it takes 4 months, 3 months, 2 to 3, it's going to add up quickly. 2 to 3 is kind of the minimum. Carl, good morning from the road. Good to see you. I have received the Massive Iron hoodie, and it looks amazing, even better than expected. Glad to hear that. So recommend everybody check it out. Check out the apparel. My website, Super Living Today, I have an apparel tab. Most of my order, I'm just giving this stuff away for free for folks that want it. But I have a lot of really quality stuff. I have a partnership with a company that fulfills out of London and out of America. So wherever you order, they're going to print and ship. And it usually goes quicker out of London. My clients in Germany and whatnot usually get it faster than I get it in America. That's an amazing thing. But I got a lot of stuff, a lot of variety, different colors. If you just want some good lifting gear, check it out. I like to say multiple BHUD programs in heavy and cycle between them. That sounds good to me. And you can do that because they use basically the same exercises and the same principles. Sorry, I got hung up on this one. Like, no one really trains only 2 days over the course of 10 years. So we're really getting into hypotheticals. If you have a season where you only train 2 days a week, can you still make great progress? Absolutely. Kill it, crush it, hard training. But I've never seen anybody only train 2 days a week for 10 years. This is hypothetical territory. We're getting into paranoia. I don't want you guys to be paranoid. Whatever season you're in, train hard. You're going to be fine. Can you talk about carb loading before a workout? Okay, so we don't want to go into a workout bloated. Whatever is in your stomach when you work out, the body has two choices. Use the blood for your muscles, use the blood to digest. Which do you think it's going to do? When you are running, trail running, why do you think endurance runners sometimes get sick? They can have a lot of water or food in their stomach that's not digesting, and they don't have a cool down period where they sit and allow that food to digest. So loading up heavy and going in a workout with too much in your stomach, doesn't provide any benefit, only downsides. You want to have some carbs. It doesn't have to be a lot. You basically want to be reasonable with your carb intake, fruits, veggies, and complex carbs. But a meal 2.5 hours before you have a certain degree of carbs, not a lot. I used to do about 400 or 500 calories, have some taters, have some rice. But I would also eat fruit in a couple of meals before that, or some oatmeal or whatever. You want to go in your workout having had some carbs in the previous meal in the form of fruits, veggies too, but veggies can be, depending on what you have, a little bit light on the carbs. Complex carbs, rice, quinoa, potatoes, whatever. So you want to go in fully hydrated, not stuffed, and having had some simple and complex carbs in the meals prior. Pretty simple stuff. Travis, any quick tips on eating enough for mass gains while simultaneously managing insulin? Yeah, insulin's going to be triggered. I find, being a type 2, the things that mess up my insulin levels, my blood sugar levels, are alcohol, lack of sleep, and very simple carbs. Fast digesting, like a Little Debbie snack cake, a candy bar, whatever. Fats aren't going to really do this. So you want to focus on meat and fats as much as you can. Fats, avocado, nuts, seeds, sour cream, adding a little bit of heavy cream into your protein shakes, cheese, those sorts of things. I know I'm capable of benching 315 and squatting 405 this year, but I'm not sure when to attempt them. Well, what I would do is maybe consider like a 4-week peak. And I have the peaking book on Team Massive. If you need help, let me know. But maybe slide in doing a 4-week peak and do it when do you feel physically good? Okay. When you feel like physically rocking, there's no minor aches, pains, strains, training's going well, then let's let it rip. Use a 1 rep max calculator. Hold on. A 1 rep max calculator is going to be beneficial. You're at what are you at? 225 by 6. 225 or 255 by 6. I'm saying that's around 290. Is that around 290? 296. So that's about 296. And squats 335 by 6. What is that going to be? 380? 389. I was close. So you're really close. If you want to hit, bench and squat that, I would probably give yourself, you got plenty of time and you're on a good roll training wise. I would just be patient a little bit and maybe do it headed in. The summer months can kind of suck because we can kind of be depleted a little bit. I'll wait till fall, get some good training in, cool down, let your weight, stabilize, wait till you feel good. If holding oneself accountable for training discipline is powerful and sustainable, a motivator is holding oneself accountable for training discipline as powerful and sustainable a motivator as a love for training. I dread leg day, but feel accountable. I don't like leg day either. Motivation can vary exercise to exercise, day by day. So you have a passion for this, right? But no passion is complete all the time on every exercise, every workout. So let's be real about that. Your passion is your base. You would not be successful without your passion, but it wavers just like mine does. But when it wavers, you do what it takes because there's still an underlying passion, enough passion where you are driven to do what it takes. And might not be the same as on other days. Does that make sense? Not fantastic if I go too high on the leg extensions, even though I know I can lift it. Feels like my knee. Don't do that. We don't want to do any aspect of a lift that's going to punish the body. Don't do that. I think this was retracted, but it's still here. Favorite movements to train rotational, anti-rotational. I'm hoping for an eloquent answer. I don't even know what that is. I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. I don't know what anti-rotational strength is. I have no idea. Anti-rotational strength. Let's look. I've been an editor forever. I've been in this forever. I've never had anybody. We probably know what it is, but just anti-rotational exercises are exercises that build stability and strength to prevent rotation. I don't know. Everything we're doing right now is pretty damn good base for general athleticism. Beyond that, I would research. That's out of my pay grade. I'm in strength. I find just doing what I do, I'm as strong as a beep bleep. And it gives me all the anti-rotational strength I need. Try to rotate me, right? Good luck. Try to rotate somebody super strong. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? So what we're doing right now is a very well-rounded. If you need something more sports specific for MMA or whatever, you might want to do some specific stuff by trainers that specialize in that. If everybody did their jobs they love, who would build cars? The flaw in your question is assuming that people don't like to build cars. People like to build cars, but it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical and it doesn't exist because the reality we live in is not a hypothetical. There's a huge percentage of the world that doesn't do a good job taking care of themselves or are not as motivated. So I'm not punching at you, but it's a nonsensical hypothetical. There are people that like to build cars. There are people that enjoy their jobs at factories. I didn't. There are a lot of people that enjoy their Amazon jobs because it pays really well and it allows them to do the other hobbies they love. Not everything we do, one of the flaws in this question is everything we do has to be about money. People do their passions. Most people do their passions irregardless, but everybody did the job they love. They'd still have to, I mean, to support yourself, you still have to make money, but I don't live in a hypothetical world, but thanks for the question. What are the benefits of box squats? Can teach you control. You can't like dive bomb. That's the main thing. I think pause squats do that better because I just think box squats are way overrated. I really, really do. I have some clients that do them. I don't really care. If they feel good, do you do them? I just think they're way overrated. That doesn't mean they don't have value. I think they're way overrated. They can also change the dynamic of a squat. If you have a pretty natural squat, if you start the box squat, generally, as you learn, as you're trying to sit back and touch your booty on the box, it's going to change the dynamic of the squat a little bit for you. So you're going to squat differently than you do naturally without a box. It's just how it's going to happen unless you're like a single ply, double ply squatter and power lifter. It's going to change the dynamic. I would rather seeing you do regular squats and pause squats. Any recommendations for crunchy joints? Nah, out of my pay grade. I don't talk about things that I'm not educated on. I don't know anything about crunchy joints, just crunchy chips. Already did that one. Chicken in a barn. I'm a fat pig. Well, then stop being a fat pig. I love you guys. My wish for you guys is to get over with, get out of limbo. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I didn't. It just requires that Rocky Balboa start the movie. Let's get it on for 3 months. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no stalls. Favorite word is no. Hey, we got pizza. No. Hey, I'm going up. No. I'm going in for 3 or 4 hard months. I'm going in for 3 or 4 hard months. I'm going in for 3 or 4 hard months. Let the plumber know. Let the dog catcher know. Let the mailman know. Let the husband know. Let the friends know. I am going in. Ain't nobody going to stop me. Ain't nobody going to get in my way. You are not you, but people that continually get off, they're allowing themselves to get off. Right? You have to have that moment where you're going all in. I'm going all in. I'm going all in so I can get this over with. Harut. Hey, Steve, when helping a newbie who's unmotivated due to the lack of quick visual results, what's the minimum amount of time? If they are nailing their food and sleep, they're going to see results in 6 months, newbie gains. That's the fastest period of acceleration. So if they have everything nailed down, like if they have a lot of body fat, it's harder to see the results. But if they have everything nailed in place, you can see good results in 6 months. You can see noticeable results. You bet. Thank you. I hate brushing my tooth. Right. Do you ever watch Wisconsin comedian Charlie Barons? Not seen him, but I'll look him up. I do watch a lot of comedy, but I'm not seeing him. Thank you for sharing Dynamic Rep Goal System. Thank you for supporting it and watching it. I'm a smaller channel. I've always had about the same number of views for the last 12 years. And your guys' support means a lot when you watch the videos. I'm moving towards more of the massive university content where I can just put out videos that focus on this type of stuff. So, my question, can it be used on all lifts? Yeah, I just did the rep goal yesterday with squats. But the thing is, we have to be reasonable. Remember, safe, quality reps. Stop a set when form breaks down or you feel like you're going to fail. On deadlifts and squats, that's going to be earlier. But yes, you absolutely can. It's okay where you are. It's not okay to stay there. Absolutely. Is there a way you can tell you're close to hitting your genetic potential? So one of the best ways to understand where you are, simple way, is if you are at 18% body fat or under, measure your arms, flexed. When you are at 16-inch arms at 18% body fat or under, you are doing really, really well. You're in the 80% zone, 80 or above. Now, if you got fat cakes on those big hangy baggies, like it's much easier to get 16-inch arms at 22, 24. And so many people think they're at 18 and they're at 25, 26. So we have to be realistic about body fat percentage. But that's a good way. If you're lean-ish, 16-inch arms, you're on your way. Should I work biceps and triceps on the same day or separate day for growth? It's going to all matter in the context of your program. Weekly volume matters most. Weekly volume is what matters. So whatever program you have, you want to have the weekly volume and work it the same. Doesn't matter if on the same day or different day. It just has to make sense in the context of your program. Ted, what are your 5 best tricep exercises to improve your bench? Well, we want to have a well-rounded bench approach. So we want to do a close grip. And I made a short about this. You can check that out on my channel. We want to do a close grip. We want to really smash our dumbbell benches. And I know this isn't specifically a triceps exercise, but it's going to really work your pressing strength and build up some base in your triceps and chest that aren't really maybe lacking. So I would always use dumbbell benches. I like to use cable tricep extensions, JM presses. So you have dumbbell bench, you have JM press, you have cable tricep extensions, and close grip bench. So those are a good 4 base. And the 5th, you're probably going to be highly individual. Something with a little bit of progression opportunity that works well for you. French presses, single arm dumbbell overhead extensions, whatever works well for you. Ryan, no one talks about max OT much anymore. And that's not, I mean, it has no value. It certainly does. I saw max OT training principles in Paul Carter's Instagram. I Googled it and it seems interesting. How popular it was it was more talked about back in the day. It was more and more the less known staples. Underutilized staples. It was all right program. But we kind of got the swing to more minimal 5x5s, right? Pull this away a little bit. Big Paul, Mr. Tequila, Mr. Bench Press. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. A7851Z. Am I successfully bulking if I'm gaining slightly less, half a pound per week? You want to look at minimum 2 pounds per month. So slightly less, you're almost there. You can be over. I would, like, if your point's 36 pounds, I would add another 100, 125 calories a day. We want to get that up a little bit. What's your best rep and set scheme for deads and squats? My favorite thing for deads is doing the 10-minute deadlift protocol. Beyond that, I like to do the threes protocol, which is backing down weight 10% and doing max safe reps. So I like to start with heavy, dial it down like 400, 380, 360, 400, 370, 340. Because when you move lighter weight after heavier weight, it invariably feels mentally, you get a mental break, it feels lighter. And a physical break, it feels lighter. Mentally, it feels lighter. Physically, it feels lighter. To make sure I don't end up killing my progress by being too conservative over time. Yeah, I mean, he was talking about bulking. Try not to go below 2 pounds a month. That just starts to get in. You might feel good. That's fair. But all right, guys, we got 4 questions left. Last call. We're at 2 hours. I'll keep going as long as you guys have questions. So if you have questions, get them in now, or I'll be popping off here shortly. On my cut, I lost the first 10 pounds fairly early, but now I've seemed to have plateaued. Well, the first thing we have to do is, number one, has consistency. Complete consistency. We can kind of waver on a cut and start to get slops where we're going over 300 once or twice a week. And we're like, I'm still pretty consistent, but my cutting, is stagnant. We have to be honest with ourselves. Am I doing that? Have my steps decreased? And what is the degree of stagnation? Are you looking at losing 6 to 8 pounds a month still, or is it much slower? If it's much slower, then we have to probably cut 150 calories and see what happens. Only start, I don't know. If you start at 18 to 20, you don't really have a lot left to lose. So I would kick it up a couple hundred calories a day and get it over with. What makes a gym really good? I think about opening a gym in my big city. You need a point of differentiation. Make it feel special. Understand you don't have to go broad, but in your head, think about who you're trying to attract as your main. Who is my main customer? Who is the perfect customer? We have to do this in coaching. Who's the perfect customer? So who's your perfect customer? And don't try to, you can try to go broad like LA Fitness, Planet Fitness. Maybe that's your personal perfect customer, Gen Pop. But first you have to understand them, and then you have to make it exciting for them. Right? Does that make sense? Besides dogs, what other pets would you like to have? I like cats. I do. I've had male cats, and they've been really good companions. I don't think the cats would play well with dogs, so I'm stuck with dogs for a while. Big Randy Griffith. Hey, Steve, you're a new guy here. Don't yell at me, LOL. Oh, my goodness, that gets my blood pressure rolling. I'm not even reading the rest right now. I guess, don't yell at me, LOL. We got don't yell, LOL. Okay, let's read the rest. Let me have a drink first. I've lost 6 pounds the last 8 days, 3 the last 4. I'm going to tell you, Randy, I love you. I care. I don't care. Depends on everybody. I lost 100 pounds on my bench, losing 100 pounds. I don't care. And here's why I don't care. Because weight loss and health is your priority right now. If you have the ability to build strength, you're going to build it back when you're done. It's not gone forever. But losing strength while you are losing weight is your penance. It's the price to pay. I don't speculate and I don't care. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Why I don't care is because if you're not fully invested in the weight loss, I've seen many, many strong guys that were overweight get spooked and not want to lose the weight so they can hold the strength. I lost 100 pounds and came back and set a bench PR. It was only 2.5 pounds stronger, but hey, I went from 346 to 246 and set a bench PR. If you can train hard, you can train hard after the weight loss. Get it out of your head. Focus, get it over with. All right, guys, that's it. Don't go yet. Before you go, please head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. I'd love to work with you if you're interested in coaching. Never had a coach. Just contact me. I'll answer your questions. Also, follow me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Check out my website. I have some really good apparel. You know what? It puts $5 in my pocket, but I appreciate that as a small content producer. So check out all the stuff on my website. The Massive Iron Workout Collection is a huge value. I have books right here. That blue one is my Massive Muscle and Brawn Archives. I have a cookbook. I have log books. The black one right there is my Massive Iron book. I have cookbooks, log books. I have all kinds of regular books. I have PDFs, apparel. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my information, I would appreciate your support. And my prices are reasonable on apparel, on books, on programs. You want a custom program, head over there and check out the services tab. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll be here next Friday and every Friday after that until I take a dirt nap. So in the meantime, until I'm chewing on dirt and worms, let's fucking lift.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.